they should be back, but we'll go ahead and get the meeting started and move ahead with whatever we can here. So I'll call the meeting to order. This is our regular meeting for Tuesday, December 2nd, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can we take roll call, please?
Ryan Rogerson.
Here.
Alan Schneider.
Here.
Tom Sutton.
Here.
Kevin Mills.
Here. All right, so we do have a quorum just by the skin of our teeth. We'll have Kevin here in just a minute. We'll start out with approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Okay, motion by Sexton, second by Mills. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Agenda is approved. The first order of business is our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Seconded.
All right, we have a motion by Rogerson, second by Sexton to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion?
I have one. The purchase of the batteries for the lawnmowers, was that a recent purchase, I assume? And could I make a suggestion of, those new batteries are gonna sit for 6 months. I would make a suggestion to wait later when it's closer to spring to buy new batteries.
Trying to think. I believe they were purchased a while ago. We were just now over them.
Well, I see who they're purchased from, so it couldn't have been that long ago.
We did update all of the, I guess, the vendor for that. So I don't know what there's a different, how that would. I can, make note of that to Brian and Logan as well.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of approval of the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Or motion carries. Next up is our public forum. Anyone wishing to speak in the public forum? No, we'll continue on with the city engineer's report.
Good evening. Hey, Brian. We're still going strong. All right. Just give you an update on a few things. Have the report there that was submitted as well. I guess starting with the Wellness Center, we did get everything submitted in on the IDOL's Water Quality Initiative application, so that is in and under review. Again, we really feel really good about that one, and hope to get a positive response back, but certainly we'll let everybody know. Once we do, my understanding is we'll table the contract between Axiom and the city until the December 15th meeting. Sounds like the city attorney reviewed, got comments, and they just got those to me, so we're taking a look at that. I think we can take care of all those comments that were provided to us, and we'll have that back to be on the next agenda. Regardless of that, we did still have our design kickoff meeting with OPN. Had a really good meeting there and went through covered really a lot of main items that we wanted to take care of that were high level design items so we can keep rolling and rocking and rolling and be ready to go. So it was really successful, good meeting, and we're looking forward to moving along with that.
Brian, I know I mentioned this to you earlier when I sent you over the comments from that Alan and I discussed with Dan on the contract, the professional service agreement review.
Yep.
I did let Dan know on the, I guess, what you were told him you were had that, so we get the over to him, so we can be able to review it prior to the council meeting, so the final version would be ready for city council's review, and then gone through, I guess, our, round of revisions as well as, review for final consideration. So I don't see a reason why we should be able to, have that ready for next council meeting.
Okay, great, excellent. Any items or questions on this? Yeah,
On the wellness center.
Yeah.
On the professional service agreement.
yes,
You're asking for $874,900, is
that sounds correct, yep.
Is that, do we want to, we basically handed you a blank check without any competitive bidding on it. And I just, you know, we have a purchasing policy and all that, I don't know. Maybe have to, I'm just not comfortable with that, I think there should be some competition.
So there was a competitive process in the sense of, as our appointed city attorney, there was the request for proposal, or request for qualifications that would have been done when they were selected and appointed for the project. So that would qualify for this as an ongoing, I guess you could say this is a separate project, but it would be a competitive process that they have been selected through in the past. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll add to that too. We had the initial contract of getting all the bond work and everything done to this point, and had this noted in within that as a supplementary contract to follow if the bond were to be approved.
Okay.
So it's part of that initial contract that was presented to you all and approved to you. Was this was the phase, and then this would be the follow-up phase if the bond were to pass and design was to move forward.
I can make note to include the specific provision in our purchasing policy that would apply to this, if that would be all right for you on my report.
Well, and if it helps, I think Cole and I had a similar conversation as we were going through the agreement here. I think one thing we could do to give us a level of comfort with the expense is try to look at some similar projects and the design fees
sure.
associated with those.
Yes.
So, I'll talk to Cole about that. We can work on it if there's anything
You bet.
you can provide.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be helpful. That would be good too. But
Yeah, you bet.
And then another thing on this, as we proceed with it, all the other contractors have as the project's going along, they give what the percentage of the completion is, and I would like to see these numbers included with the construction bids, because that's part of the project.
Say it again, I didn't get that.
Like, your part of it normally isn't listed with the cost of the project, correct? It's billed separately.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's a separate contract from that with like the general
I'd
contractor.
like to see that all included together so we can see where we're at with
then
it.
look at.
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
The design work.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, we had, yes, I think we already had that breakdown.
Yeah, and
Provide
that was
Yeah,
what we talked about during our initial capital improvements plan. Discussion of doing the final reporting on a project, showing how much did we spend, what was the construction materials and change orders, as well as engineering costs as well, so then it shows the entire reporting.
Yeah.
There, but, yeah.
yeah, we can, yeah, absolutely.
All right, good comments, any others? All right, go ahead, Brian.
All right. Hall Park pickleball. All right, a couple different things here. One, you have a payout in front of you, which is payout number 4, in the amount of $26,035.64. This does not include any of the fencing or gate items. We asked that that be taken out at the time in which we received this and reviewed it and approved it. Obviously, because we're still battling on that. So then, since then, we did make a request for a deduct. We had a response back. We also had several conversations with city attorney on it, and have gone now a different route where, as of yesterday, I think it was, we got a 15-year written warranty from DNN and via voucher. for full warranty on everything, fencing, gate-wise. That includes anything that has been touched up and painted. It specifies that specifically in the documents. And so that is the route we are proposing now. It doesn't mess with deduct, and it also secures here for 15 years on any of that product out there, which seems to be a better bet in our view.
Brian, the savings on what the deduct would have been what, $5,000?
It was like $4,000 or $5,000. Yeah.
So we were already under, I think we were already under budget on the project, so it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge amount, and then it did start causing things of what does that do to your full warranty? Does it take them off the hook and things like that? That we talked to the city attorney. I think Tom had brought up a very, very good question last time. So we feel really comfortable with the 15-year warranty. Again, this payout tonight does not have any of the fencing in there because we had them pulled off on that. So there would be one more additional payout that would have those items in it with the 15-year warranty, obviously documented and recorded. And then there's the note that will be continued with the stabilization and the seeding in the spring and reseeding to take care of that grass growth that didn't occur before snow was flying here.
So Brian, can we see what that 15-year agreement?
Yeah, I get that.
I just got from
Yep.
Brian, so we'll have
Yep.
that at the next council meeting, so we consider that portion.
All right, so I'd be outside yet, so if it's suitable.
Yeah, and it's got, well, it's really 4 different documents, but there's 2 separate documents. I'll say with that, it's a 15-year warranty from the manufacturer of the powder coating of the fence and gate itself. Then there's a separate warranty from DNN as well on additional, on touch-ups, anything that there was question about.
Well, I'm just curious what their
Yeah.
warranty, if we're not satisfied, so what their resolve will be.
Sure.
Correct.
Sure.
Tom,
If it just needs
I
more
have,
touch-up or
I'll
what?
send it out on Friday
Yeah.
as well, so you'll have a
All right,
bit of an earlier time to cut as well.
sorry
I'm
about
just curious, is that court and blacktop and the whole 9 yards?
No, it's just for the fencing.
Just for.
Yeah, this was only on those items, correct. Yes. Yep. Yeah, any questions on that?
Do we want to go ahead and approve the resolution now?
Yes, because otherwise I have the resolution in there for that.
25B2.
$26,035.64.
Any questions on the pay application? And if not, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-82. Pay application number 4, the Valker Pinnacle Mechanical for work completed on Hall Park pickleball courts project.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Rogerson.
Aye.
Key. Sexton.
Aye.
Mills.
Aye.
That is approved.
All right, thank you. CDBG downtown revitalization, continued to try to coordinate and work through the contractor, Martin Gardner, the state. We finally did get a schedule, as talked about last meeting and requested. We had to go through various iterations of the schedule to make it readable, but we did get a schedule, and it should be, I think it was in your packet as well. That did get reviewed by Deanna as well with the state. We had some comments back and forth, and then she was accepting of the schedule once we had them revise that. So beyond that, I don't have a whole lot of updates there. There was a progress meeting number 5 that's supposed to be scheduled. I haven't heard if that has been cool. Okay, yeah, I haven't heard either. But that's, and then I didn't see if it got done. We requested the move of the dumpster. Did it get moved? Okay, thank you. Coordinated that with the property owner and everything there. So I think we got that squared away, hopefully for the snow came.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to just, in preparation for the next progress meeting, get an update from Bethany on, material selection, making sure all that's, they did see on the schedule, I guess, this updated schedule that they're still waiting on some brick, selections, for a couple properties here. So if that's the case, making sure that they have all the materials done so they can have those ordered and ready to eliminate.
Yeah.
So Cole, is the schedule what's on page 8 of the packet?
Yeah, it's what I got from, they just filled in the sections rather than, it's supposed to be like a Gantt chart where you have,
I think there's another newer one than this called, I believe.
Yeah, because it doesn't have anything for completion
Yeah.
estimates.
There was requests made back for, to be in a different format.
Okay, that's fine. We don't need to spend a lot of time on it. I just wanted to make sure I was reading it
Thought
correctly.
we can get the updated one and send it out, but this is what I thought.
Okay, well, and I could, you're on that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Looks like they're.
'Cause we have the same-
They're gonna start everything.
Because we had the same comments. Yeah, we had the same comment. Yeah. You should have seen the first version. It was much worse than this. Yeah, I'll verify and make sure you got the right one.
We were given approval from Deanna at EC Cog, who oversees the grant, so that tells me that they had everything from the grant side that they need, the Iowa County Development Authority needs to be able to move forward with the application. So all of the, I guess, wage reporting stuff that they have, as well as the timeline meets those specifications. So,
And I know there is a Gantt chart on this, because we went back, we'll get that on the next, in the next packet for you. We might just not have to in time for the packet.
I see they got an estimated time when windows are gonna arrive. Are they gonna continue to work through winter on this project then, or?
that's what's been communicated
Yes.
with the intent throughout the entire project. In the last progress meeting, they said as long as, they are able to do it, they'll be doing it in the winter. So I don't see a reason why. Your question, there's not too many question there, I didn't follow with them on, which was just to be sure that, or to clarify that we would not be responsible for any additional cost that would result of, for example, like even to do additional enclosure on our property because of the elements.
Yeah.
That's something that we can follow.
Good.
And you said that the grant administrator has reviewed all the
Yes.
submittals and they're all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
And give the approval.
Yeah.
To go ahead with this.
Cool.
But that's still, the next big thing that we'll have to have, is once we hit, I guess, once a project hits like 50% completion, I believe is what it is, we have to do there's a public hearing, and then there is a walk through that the Iowa Economic Development Authority does of the project. So, that's been one of the driving forces of this, where, we're at 50% of the time or over that, and we have not hit that, paid 50% yet. So, yeah. That'll turn out.
Any other items there?
So, do we want to approve that pay application? Is there any questions? So we've got a resolution in the packet for the pay application number 4, $16,839.20, right, Brian?
Yep.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2025-83 for the pay application number 4 to Cornerstone in the amount of $16,839.20.
There's a update I'll have to do on, I missed and for the period through August 20th, I'll update that in the resolution. So the action then.
All right, second by Kevin Mills. Any additional discussion? All right, don't take a vote on that as well. Mills? Sexton?
Aye.
Key? And Rogerson?
Aye.
All right, that's approved.
All right, thank you. I think the other items are just some updates on things that we've been discussing with Cole and working on that you'll see in the upcoming future or meetings here and work sessions of just CIP planning and then the sidewalk program based on some of that CIP funding. Therefore, annual sidewalk program that came out of that ADA transition plan. So really more or less just a note or update on some things going on there. Nothing to really present to you at this time, but will be in the future.
Brian, as far as capital improvements, that is one of the bigger things as of right now, I've been filing some of the loan center and all court stuff. I don't know, I'm thinking of late January would be a good time for us to get together and have a work session.
Absolutely.
I know you, Danielle, and I have compiled a pre-bid list there to get together and then start having conversation on that. And then once we get their input, take it to planning and zoning, and then get like an official capital improvements plan put together.
Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and we met internally, compiled that list together. We're getting that together, putting some really rough order of magnitude costs associated with each of the projects and in category prioritization to bring to you for your discussions and obviously your determination of what and how you want to prioritize those. So yeah, absolutely be ready for that in January at a work session. Yeah.
On those sidewalks, I mean, this plan, how aggressive or relaxed do they like to see this thing moving forward?
Yeah, and, really set by you and there's no set amount you have to do or cover everything every year. So the way I look at it and how we've done it in other communities in the past is kind of break up, the town into different quadrants, and then just look at them on an annual basis at each time with certain allotment for the city to handle, like any infill or curb ramps, that would be their responsibility. And then the rest is just assessing the walks within that quadrant on the private property side of things.
Tom, I thought it was during our budget conversations that we would set an amount aside during that, and then from there, you have to determine how much we want to allocate to what specific side of sidewalk remediation. So say if it's $25,000, and we want to allocate $10,000 towards, we'll call it like cost sharing so it's something that would be resident responsibility, but we're going to take applications based off of this cost share percentage, work with residents to do infill work or replace sidewalk that needs it, and then we could use that $15,000 on city responsibility things. So like that's just one way we could go about it, but the idea is it's really up to us based off of our whatever budgetary constraints we have to pick that amount and then determine how we want to apply it. But at least now having a mechanism to where we can actually funnel those funds through and actually turn it into sidewalk improvements would be kind of the good first start. So, yeah. And that can also take a bigger role in the capital improvements zoning conversation as well, how aggressive we want to be with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Any other items for me?
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Right.
Brian, thanks for making me take care of Brian.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
All right.
Just
City administrator
four
report.
big things here. First and foremost, we do have a resolution to designate the official newspaper for 2026. I got a request from the news here. I will say, with some of the law changes for 2026, 2025 and 2026, I need to review those with Ron to make sure that, as we learned tonight, making sure that the new publication website is linked to all of the public notices, that they're in line with all of that, and then all of the fees that we'll be charging are in line with what's statutorily required or established by the state. But with all that checks, any comments, questions on newspaper stuff?
I make a motion to pass resolution 2025-84, designating the news the official newspaper for 2026.
I'll second.
There's a motion by
One more year, Paul.
Rogerson. Any discussion?
So this paper, does it have a website then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice website.
And the public notices are made free, it's just the small thing is just making sure to link to the state, I guess, website where those notices are published are also included in those. Will be the one thing that we need to update, but that's a new thing, so.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll ask for a vote. Rogerson, Keeney,
Aye.
Sexton,
Aye.
and Mills.
Aye.
That is approved.
Look at that.
What are you smiling about?
Can we get a representative that doesn't sleep through our meetings though?
You should probably train us out for Lone Tree. Their council meeting was under 15 minutes last
Hey.
night.
I interrupted a basketball game to come here.
They were behind 27-11.
So, after last council meeting, we discussed, looking at, how we ended up, I guess, how much we could totally bring in on our, casino, related revenues, so this would be our Fund 145. I took the 3 revenue categories that, we're looking at, which would be gaming and wager tax, the revenue agreement we have, which is based off of the 1.35% over or under $90 million total revenue that the casino does, as well as hotel motel. You will see the budget amounts we have in that first column, and then the actual amount we received in the second, your actual. The percentage of budget is how much of the budget we receive. In all 3 cases, we received well over the budget amount. And then the balance in parentheses, which would be the amount over the budget amount. So that leaves us with $532,773.52 in revenues from casino, those 3 revenue lines that we did not budget for, as of now, are just sitting in our fund balance of, when I pulled this for the meeting packet, was $2,870,757.93 total. So it's just sitting there. We're getting interest on it, but right now we don't have any defined uses for those funds. So, just reporting back if there's any discussion on how we wanted to do that, but I'll leave that back over to you guys.
Yeah, I guess my recommendation would be that we discuss allocating at least a portion of that overage to the wellness center project, but
That's my thought.
Yeah.
The more we can chip away, the better.
yeah, and we don't have to take any action on that tonight, but something for everybody to think about.
If it would be okay with you guys, I would put a resolution on next council meeting to consider a fund transfer, and probably a budget amendment with that as well. So then we could consider whatever amount seems appropriate. At this point, just from a financial perspective, all of it was unplanned, so if whatever portion of it seems appropriate to the council, I think would be a good use towards the project, so, yeah.
Anybody have any thoughts on it one way or the other in terms of the amount? If not, we can discuss it at the next meeting. Okay.
Regardless, I'll just write it in a way that we can fill it in.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind adding that to your email on Friday, just so people can kind of come to the meeting ready with their thoughts.
And if there are any additional ideas for uses or something like that, I would also be open to hearing those as well, so feel free to share this as well.
I mean, how far do we push that truck off? That'd be the only other thing I could think of.
The in streets and parks,
Yeah.
that we do have money set aside in road use tax for that, so, we we do have a good balance in reduced tax as well, so
Okay.
wouldn't be okay there. But additionally, if this is something we get deeper into budget conversations as well, doesn't matter at this point.
It's gain and interest rate.
It's
Lock over there.
This is good.
Sorry. Donald's getting beat up over there.
all right.
This is a good situation to have.
Yeah.
I will also say, we don't know what next year's gonna look like, but, we have had a string of some very good years, so. Lastly, Terry was here earlier, and provided a few quick updates on nuisance abatements, but, the big first bunch of those, the deadlines were, ended date yesterday on the 1st. As he expected, he's now gotten a slew of requests for extensions on those. Some of which, there's a couple of roofs, that, he's been in contact with the property owner, one of which is working with Habitat for Humanity on, and they're getting some quotes there, but we haven't seen any permits there. Another property owner mentioned, actually demolishing one of the properties. We haven't seen a demolition permit yet, but the idea that at least, the request for extension would be in writing, and would give them, a firm deadline that they've voluntarily, agreed to, and once they cross that line, it does help our case, and, I guess, what's the word here? Elevating it, to the, I guess, our attorney for municipal infraction, case. The other part of it is being realistic this time of year, with the weather, and when it comes to some of the things like weeds, vines, and brush, roof replacements, things like that, where there is a weather element to that, which I would reasonably expect a judge to put into consideration on that. So if we can get ahead of that and say that, we've been trying to be more accommodating, working with them, giving them an extended deadline, allow them to give us a plan of action, and if they did do that, I think that helps our case there. But I guess, as I think Terry put it earlier, he wanted to emphasize that this is not necessarily a delay of action, but rather giving one more piece of support for the outcome of it. I guess I'm missing.
I don't remember if he said, did any of them get resolved, or we're gonna be
So
extending all?
there was a couple properties where there was some, one of them had, a couple junk, I think 2 or 3 junk vehicles that got moved, so there were some items that got resolved.
Yeah.
There is certain properties that there's weeds, vine, and brush issues yet, there's property maintenance issues yet, so those haven't been addressed, but I do know in a couple properties that had junk vehicles, they were able to address those there.
Yeah, so for those who weren't here at the start of the training session, Terry was here right before that, kind of gave a little bit of an update, and we asked him to put that summary together in an email.
Yes, so that's right there.
Yeah.
What the status does. I will say Terry has been very accommodating with taking on, more of them as well. We have a couple commercial, nuisance cases that we're working on as well, that we started, so, that will, I think he should have done his report as well, but, outside of that, I think that would be the main,
So when the nuisances, are dealt with,
yes.
and will they come back to us for consider as council members to see if they approve the cleanup or?
Also with it, so it would be up to Terry as our, I guess, building inspector and nuisance, code enforcement officer, to ensure that the abatement that was taken meets the, standards established by code, or in this case, it's not like the property maintenance code that we've adopted that. So whatever whatever's been done needs to, meet those standards essentially. Additionally, if any of them were to go to court, typically you see in, proceedings of that, not only is the property owner required to, abate the nuisances, but they're also, required to keep the property free of nuisances for a period of time afterwards, which in some ways is kind of, I guess you could, in the future, you could consider it as part of a different case, but that allows us to go back at them under the same case, so we wouldn't have to restart from the beginning, something like that, so, that would be one thing I think that would be, help us in our favor on some of those more habitual violators, if we did get them to a municipal infraction, went through the process, got a, guilty judgment, on them, and then we have that to continue to enforce as well. So that would be one thing to look at on that, but yeah, I'm assuming there's gonna be questions on nuisances, as this is something that's been a priority of city council, so I'd be happy to field whatever you have questions, and then also get that back to Terry so we can have that for, the report I have on Friday. And then,
Since winter is here, sidewalk cleaning, there's some around town that more than likely aren't gonna make their 48-hour deal. Have we thought about a company to do any of that, or how are we gonna go forward on clearing?
so our ordinance would state that, after like the 48-hour period of snow removal, that they would be notified by the city, or they would be charged, we would do it, we charge it, so that would be a service that, I have knowing kind of the limited capacity, we have 2 full-time, streets and parks employees. We do have some, people who help out seasonally or part-time, but, it might be something worthwhile to get a contract quote for someone that we could.
Well, you don't know what this winter's gonna be, whether we're gonna get a lot of snow.
I mean, I think that's something we pretty easily.
Not gonna be much melting going on here this week, so.
I mean, I'd be happy to get some quotes to be considered for that. I think that would be, under our schedule fees would be considered like a reasonable actual cost of remediation. So if,
It's nice when neighbors help out. I mean, I did a bunch through that first snow and everything, but they're covered again and nobody's cleaning them. I'm gonna do it a second time.
I'm gonna ride on that, the snow bit a little bit with you. On-street parking, especially with the snow, it's very obvious that there's several cars that don't move at any certain time that we're blading around them. So what are we gonna do about those?
so, I actually just got a future, I guess, Councilman-elect Grinstead sent me an email, on it was Friday, asking this exact question, does he, observe someone on his street that he, lives on? Anyways, so the first step is, so we already have a, snow emergency, I guess, established in our ordinance. So if it's a snow over 3 inches, it would be considered an emergency. In that case, there is like an odd even parking that would be included in that. So we would, in the ordinance, it states that it doesn't specify which streets that takes effect on, but it's as posted. Right now, I'll be honest, I don't know all the streets of where that is posted on. So if we were to make that announcement that the snow emergency, we're going to have odd parking, I don't know, right now, off the top of my head, which streets that's on. So first we need to get an inventory of that. But the short answer is that just like any other parking issue, Washington County would be the one we reported to, where it would either be ticket, tow, or contact the owner to move. Those would be the 3 things there. Yeah.
Well, it's not a new problem, so I would suggest moving forward. I mean, people start getting money out of their pocket, they're gonna change their ways.
So, Iowa City, by Big Burlington as well, you can park on the one side of the street one day and the other side of the street the next day. If that car's not moved, there's no questions asked, they stop. They're not.
I know it's a small town, but I don't know how we attack that issue, but until we do a couple, you know, somebody gets moved, people don't go out and move. You can see they're bladed around, they're waiting for it to melt. Other people are moving their cars off the road, or bad neighbors put cars in my driveway so they're out of the way and can get plowed. Takes a little bit of effort, but some people just won't do it. So,
I'm assuming we don't have a snow emergency procedure right now.
It's very loose, and that's as established in our ordinance, where it is at 3 inches, it would, you could establish a snow emergency, and then we have the odd even parking as posted, but it's not something that, I don't have an inventory of which streets that's on, so we'd have to get that. Or,
I don't think we need an inventory though. I think we can just say citywide, it's odd even parking. If there's a no parking area like Blackberry.
then it wouldn't apply.
Yeah,
There's
but
no parking.
otherwise, anywhere throughout the city, if it's an odd day, you park on the odd side of the street. If it's an even day, you park on the even side of the street. Everywhere.
that was kind of in the flyer, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, so we need to probably publicize that too. I think most other cities call the TV stations or something like that, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The snow emergencies announced on there, but yeah, let's maybe for the next meeting, just work on it. Doesn't have to be anything too detailed, but just a procedure.
I have, so the old snow policy from, I wanna say, 2011 or something like that, which is honestly, is not much different than, I think what we have now. I can bring a copy of that, as well as, I think the clarification on just odd even, that would just apply citywide and carve out the no parking areas. So then we just say it's a snow emergency, odd even parking applies, and then whatever cars that are parked improperly, we would report to Washington County for enforcement.
Yeah, because there were a lot of vehicles that were sitting there for a couple days and then you have snow piled around them. That makes it pretty hard to plow, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to state, this wasn't so much a snow emergency topic.
Yeah,
It's just that there's cars parked on the street for a definite amount of time, and you can realize which one they are because we're plowing around them, and it's been 2 or 3 days now.
I might get some of the trailers moved too.
And yeah, there's some with trailers on them.
Yeah.
When I'm reading our policy right now, it seems that it's written fine. It's just, we are not enforcing it.
I didn't think that it's, I guess, another part would just be getting all of that, and I don't think that definitely put something on the website, having a specific, I don't know, streets and parks page where that was, or snow removal page that, it was, I guess that information could be easily found, so residents would be easily to understand the audience parking, how that works. And then we would have to, I don't know, probably put that in the codification change as well, to be clarifying that process, but yeah.
That's a good idea, you know, something that's more, starting out for spring, summer, winter, fall, whatever's going on at that time for a little more of an attention here, that's a good idea.
Alan, did you, is that something you had last thing to say there?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say we can discuss it at the next meeting. I think I would even be okay if we sent out a postcard to residents or something like that with the details on it. That way people are notified that that's the way it's gonna be.
That's part of, so Dan, after we changed our, Wings, Vines, and Brush to notice of application only, he sent me a sample ordinance from another city, that he works with that does snow on a notice of application only, where your publication could be a newspaper, or it could be a direct send postcard, like whatever way where it's, we're gonna let you know, one time per year, this is how it's happening every single year. and this is the general expectation. You don't move your vehicle, you have a parked in the wrong spot, it's going to be taken or towed,
Yeah.
so.
Alright. Hardball. But
All right, that was, I guess, the end of my immediate items.
did you want to talk about your question to me about the
Yes,
day after
yes.
Christmas and the day after New Year's?
Yeah, so I was looking at the calendar, and I noticed that, our holiday schedule, so we would have city hall closed, paid holidays for city staff on the 24th and 25th, so Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, both of which fall on Wednesday and Thursdays. I wanted to, I guess, ask if, what your guys' thoughts were on, having, the 26th, so December 26th and January 2nd as, give the city staff the opportunity if they wanted to use, either, unpaid time or paid time off, to, would not be holidays, would be vacation or a personal day on those 2 days, to take them off. And then if we didn't have anyone, at City Hall in here, we would close City Hall. Normal snow removal, emergency responsibilities would apply, so we'd still show up for all of that stuff if needed, but just knowing it's a Friday after holidays, and it wouldn't be something that would cost the city anything, other than you say the city hall would be open on days after holidays, but in my experience, either one of those days are gonna be very high traffic or high call volume days, so, all of our normal responsibilities would be met. I think it's something that would be nice for staff, and, would give, I guess, a little bit more flexibility with really nothing out of the, expense of the city, so. Thoughts on that?
It's fine with me.
So, number one, I would say I'm not in favor of everybody taking it unpaid. If they've got the time to take off, they can. Otherwise, I think they should be working if they don't have the paid time off. Number two, we would want to have some type of on-call set up, I guess, and posted so that if something did come up, people have an easy way to contact someone and get assistance that day. Since we've already got 2 holiday days before that, I don't think it's too much to ask for people to have the ability to contact someone if they need to. And then number 3, I don't want this to set a precedent where it's expected anytime we've got a holiday that's, followed by Friday, or, let's say Christmas Eve and Christmas are Tuesday and Wednesday, I mean, we're gonna close on Monday too. I don't have a problem with it if people have the time to use, but I don't want to get in the habit of having City Hall closed for 3 days. I think that was the reason we had Christmas Eve and Christmas off, is so that people had plenty of time to enjoy the holidays. And especially adding another person into City Hall, that was part of the reason, so we weren't gonna have it closed down. So if everybody's okay with it, I'm fine with it this time around, but I don't think that it should be a regular thing where we've got 3 days that City Hall is closed in a row. Any other thoughts on that? So there's no real issues with it. Let's put it on the agenda for next time to approve it by motion then.
Oh, yeah, I guess, that is a good point. So in order for someone to be paid a holiday, they would have to work the day before, or after his paid time off. So you can't get paid, or else you would be eligible for holiday pay, so you would effectively have to use paid time off. Unpaid would not be an option, so.
All right, anything else?
I think that would exhaust my media list. Sorry, I know the last two council meetings have been a little, short on content, not that it's necessarily a bad thing per se, but also November was a little bit of a crazy month where I think every single week in November, I or Stephanie was out for 2 days, whether we with trainings, I had sinus surgery, what else we have, holidays in there. It was just a bit of a weird month, but not necessarily a bad thing.
I'd say our agenda is probably just as full, if not more full than most cities our size for this time of year, so we're doing all right. Any closing comments?
I guess just from a staff perspective, I wanted to mention, Stephanie and I today looked into, a couple different, improvements, and that would be save time and actually save the city money. One being, there is, next council meeting, we'll look at piloting a agenda management, solution that we found that's very affordable, that would simplify, the amount of time it takes to produce, our meeting packets, as well as, I guess, I don't know if I'm hitting all the points in there, but that's one thing. And then, through Tyler Tech, who is the company that, produces, our accounting and utility billing software, all that stuff, payroll, all combined, there is another module, for automated accounts payable, that shows promise, at actually decreasing our total costs, where we potentially could eliminate our costs of or at least significantly drive down our cost of postage, checks, and envelopes, as well as staff time involved in the accounts payable process, as well as making it a lot cleaner and better for record-keeping purposes. And then we've also started looking into a postcard utility bill rather than the, I guess, perforated sheet that is stuffed in an envelope. So we less printing, less staff time, less processing, a lot more resource, I guess, efficient, and also postage is about 30, I guess, a third of the cost of what we currently pay for a postcard versus a first class. So each of those three opportunities are things that would be directly result in better use of staff time and would, I guess, decrease the amount of overtime from Stephanie and also increase our, I guess, overall efficiency while also saving money on all three. So those are a few things we're looking into right now that we'll have next council meeting. We're gonna pilot. They're giving us a couple free things on the agenda management to test. We're gonna have a normal packet as normally would, but we're also gonna have through the agenda management software, so you guys can get a kind of a taste of what that looks like and how it works. So you can see that next council meeting. But a couple other things, the other utility billing and the accounts payable stuff in the background we're looking into right now. But some of those things are, definite needs where hiring Carrie has been helpful already, but we need to continue to look at ways to be modernizing and improving our workflows so that we can best use city funds and deliver high quality services. So,
All right, very good.
If we use postcards, I'd just like to know what the plan would be for notices other than utility bills.
like the newsletter, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, telling people when fall cleanup is and whatnot.
Say it one time.
Like when fall cleanup is and the snow issue and, that's always stuck in the water bill. Yeah, just figure something out for that if we can.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have some recommendations for options, but I don't think we could put a URL or even a QR code on postcards that would direct them to the website where we would have that information.
An alternative, US Postal Services does have some direct mail options as well, to where there was, I guess, an opportunity for us if we had a specific design, like for our newsletter looked like, or, I don't know. I agree, right, there's probably some alternative ways to deliver that we can still get the information out to people that wouldn't be at the expense of a ton of staff time that goes into detail building and also higher presentation. But, yeah. I think there's a way to do both.
Yeah, well, that's where the electronic billing would be ideal, because then you could include all the information. Yeah.
And the newsletters are posted on our website.
Hmm.
The newsletters are posted on our website every month.
Yeah, I know.
People still on the box, get that.
But you gotta take the time to read them.
Yeah,
That's major key. So, yes. Stephanie, you have to add? Yeah.
Okay, closing comments? Motion to adjourn?
Sure.
All right.
Double sure that
All right, I'll give the motion to Kevin Keeney, second to Tom. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. We're adjourned at 7:41. Thanks, everyone.